A beloved figure on the Twin Cities restaurant scene has been taken too soon. A friend in mourning makes a plea for justice after a convicted felon has been charged with homicide. Next. Steve Hamel is my guest, a dear friend of David Burley, who was tragically killed last month in a motorcycle crash in western Wisconsin. David was the co-owner of Blue Plate Restaurant Group, behind multiple restaurants in the Twin Cities. Steve, truly so sorry for your loss. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure to honor David any way I can.
You were very close with David for years, and I know bonded over a love of motorcycles. It's obviously why you're in your shop to talk to us about all of this today. But what are you willing to say about the kind of man David was and how you became friends?
I met David in the early 90s when he opened his first restaurant, which was the Highland Grill. And my motorcycle shop was in St. Paul at the time. And I visited the restaurant because they had the best hash browns in town. And one day there's a Norton parked out front. And that was the ticket right there. I got talking to David and his partner Stephanie, and motorcycles became the bond, and he would visit my shop in St. Paul, and the relationship just grew from there. David is from Australia, and just the most easygoing guy. Always a smile on his face. Happy to help in any way he could. Just a great pleasure knowing him.
And I know you bonded both over a love of airplanes, of flying, and of motorcycles. And David was in Wisconsin to visit you, I understand, on April 6th. Tell us what happened that Sunday afternoon.
Well, David came to my shop. His son Charlie brought him out, and he was going to pick up the Vincent that I had restored for him over the last couple of years. He had never ridden a Vincent, but he was really excited about it, and told his friends and family how thrilled he was to finally get his dream motorcycle. So he took it around the loop out here. We've got a half-a-mile loop road that we live on, and the bike was running really well. He took it around the block and came back with a big smile on his face. He left at 2:31 that Sunday afternoon, and by 2:44 he was gone, hit by this drunk driver who was driving quite carelessly and tried to pass David on the shoulder. Where there was no shoulder, there was a guardrail, and the car struck the guardrail and ricocheted at virtually right angles right into David and threw him into the median on the inside of the highway there.
Absolutely horrific. As Steve, we've been learning about the driver charged in David's death. Frankly, it seems he should have been serving time in prison, not driving on I-94 at all that day. Just to let our viewers know, the driver, here he is, Andre Lamont Matthews of Brooklyn Park. He's been charged now with homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. You were explaining there, but Matthews was driving on 94 near Hudson when his car struck a guardrail, veered into David's motorcycle. It was 9 days later that Matthews was arrested. He posted the $25,000 cash bail. He was released that same day. We're going to share more about his background. But Steve, it sounds like the more you have found over the days that have passed since this horrific death, the worse it really gets.
It's really odd the way charges were dismissed. The worst charges, the gun charges, they were dismissed, and those are the ones that would have put him in jail, and he wouldn't have been on the road.
Crime Watch Minneapolis did some digging. They found that Matthews had a criminal record, and in 2009, he was convicted of armed robbery. It was 2018. Matthews was arrested for drug-related charges after a traffic stop in downtown Minneapolis. And here's what you're talking about, Steve. The 2 felony gun-related charges he also faced carried a sentence from 5 to 15 years. They were dismissed due to a plea deal. So if it weren't for the soft on crime handling of this case, Matthews would likely have been in prison that day and not driving while intoxicated as he did when he crashed into Dave's motorcycle. What do you think, though, of the justice system in Minnesota? Did it play a role in this tragedy?
Well, I don't understand the legal details and how could a charge be dismissed? When there's so much evidence, and what was the plea? What was the deal? It's just unimaginable, and there's so much of this kind of behavior going on in the justice system nowadays. It's pretty frustrating, especially when you lose a friend.
What do you want everyone to know about your friend and about all of this?
It's just so sad and so ironic that he made a total of 3 miles on his dream motorcycle after waiting for 2 years for it. It is so senseless, so senseless. We've got the video of the traffic cam that shows the event, and it's just heartbreaking.
I know David leaves behind 3 children and obviously quite the legacy, but it does seem the justice system in Minnesota has failed David, your friend. We're going to see and follow this if the court in Wisconsin will deal with this case more appropriately for the sake of public safety. I should say that the court hearing for Matthews is scheduled for the end of May, so coming up in a few weeks here. But Steve Hamel, thank you again for joining me. Thank you for speaking up about all of this and truly accept our sympathies.
Thanks, Liz.
That will do it for this episode of Liz Collin Reports. We'll see you next time.